Well, it's hard not to get chills when you're in the world's most famous arena. The Flames continue their 5-game road trip through the East against the Rangers. Here's your starting goalies, brought to you by Intact Insurance. Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company. Karri Ramo continues to give the Flames world-class goaltending. In his last 6 appearances, he has a save percentage of .949. And Rick Lundqvist signed a new 7-year extension on December 3rd. Since then, he's won 1 game, lost 4 in a row, and was pulled at home last Thursday in a loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets. As you take a look at the refurbished Madison Square Garden Arena, you think of the history, Charlie, the things that have happened here, the performers that have been here, the hockey players that have gone through here, and the work that they do on the ice.
As an ex-player and playing in the old Madison Square Garden, I guess you want to call it, it is such an exciting time to get into this building and play the Rangers.
Kreider's shot just goes wide. Rick Nash is up there. First time the Flames have faced Rick Nash in a Rangers uniform. They're used to seeing him as the captain of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Nash shot, and Ramo turns that aside. Rangers talked about getting off to a good start. They haven't played since Thursday, that 4-2 setback to the Blue Jackets. Calgary winning in overtime yesterday afternoon up in Buffalo. The Flames have won 3 games in their last 4 that they played, all coming in overtime. As a matter of fact, the Flames have played 4 consecutive games that have ended with a score of 2-1. They have never done that before in their history.
What they've done also is they haven't put themselves behind the 8 ball early in games, especially on the road where the home team and crowd can really help and build up momentum. They've been very close to the cup, and they kept the game very tight.
Glencross working over Richards, and that one ends up in the trapper of Karri Ramo. Let's go to the keys of the game, brought to you by Budweiser. Great games are waiting.
For the Calgary Flames, there just isn't one go-to guy lately, as of late. It could be anybody from the 4th line to the 1st line, so keep spreading the wealth around. Bob Hartley's not afraid to use all his lines. And for the Rangers, no self-destruction. When they get an early lead, which they do most often, they have to find some way with the new system Alain Vigneault has for his players to maintain that lead and bring it into the 2nd and 3rd period.
Schmid plays it off the boards but can't get it out. It's kept in by Richards. Now a chance is misfiring on it. In front was Zuccarello, and the Flames will get it out to the red line. Sean Monahan back in the lineup for the Flames. 2nd game in a row since missing 7 with a hairline fracture in his foot. Schmid looking up the middle, and it's Michael Backlund to Curtis Glencross. Blair Jones also out there for the Flames. He's been a healthy scratch the last couple, and he gets back in here this evening. Hustling back to pick up the puck, Shane O'Brien. He'll reverse it to Michael Backlund. Backlund to Jones. Across the red line. Gains the line. Long shot tipped wide. Jones looking to deliver a big hit. Opens up some space. But it's a penalty coming up, and it's going to go to Jones. As he came in, and he was looking for trouble, Charlie.
Good, hard, aggressive hit, but I think the hit was a little bit too high as he went on up against Pouliot for that loose puck in the corner. And that's the discipline you have to go in. Yeah, get a good hit going. But there, right the last second, that shoulder came up and caught Pouliot up in the shoulder. So it's 2 minutes for hitting to the head, and the Rangers will have an opportunity to see how their power play is going to work.
Well, the Rangers were 0 for 3 against Columbus on Thursday. They were 0 for 7 in their last 3 games. Well, the Flames' penalty kill has been terrific, killing off 27 of the last 28 power plays they have faced over the last 7 games. And it will be Brad Richards to take the draw for the Blue Shirts. Lance Bowman in the face-off circle for Calgary. Stepan gets it. He'll play back to the point, but that's vacated. So the Flames get the puck out.
The odd man on this power play will be Richards as you come back and play the point.
Derek Stepan with it behind the net. Back to the point. Richards moves it over quickly, gets the puck back. Shoots. That one's blocked. Boma got in front of it, and he's looking for it. Given away, and Chris Butler's there. He'll play it into the Ranger zone. Chris Butler playing his 300th NHL game tonight.
You can't give the penalty killers enough credit the way they've been sacrificing themselves in the last little run, as you had mentioned.
Here's Michael Backlund on a bid for a shorthanded opportunity. He shoots shoots, and it's hugged into the body by Lundqvist.
And it's just the little tiny things. Even a simple block shot like Michael Backlund there, sacrificing the body a little bit, very active stick, but there's the Lance Boma block. And yeah, every time you go down like that, you know it's going to hurt, and you've got to find some way to get the most of the protection you're wearing to the front of your body.
Backlund to take this face-off deep in the Rangers' end. Del Zotto reversing it to Dan Girardi. Gives it back to Mike Del Zotto. His name has popped up in rumors in the last month or so involving the Rangers and possible trades. Brassard back in this game. Didn't play on Thursday against his former club Columbus, but he's out there for the Rangers on this power play. Back to the point, Del Zotto. Now Brassard, watched by Stempniak in the middle. Zuccarello back to the point, Girardi to Zuccarello. Oh, and Kari Ramo has it. And it's just been that way for Kari Ramo in the last couple of weeks.
Big sponge. That's what it is right now. That's how he is feeling. Everything that's coming at him, he's absorbing it. It's coming into his body. Rangers with some nice puck movement around the perimeter, and then they get the shot they want right from the slot, right through the gut, right there. But Zuccarello with the quick release, and Ramo with an even better performance as far as the save.
45 seconds to go in the penalty to Blair Jones. Boma to take the draw with Derek Stepan. Puck down, comes back to Brad Richards at the point. Stepan to Richards. Behind the back pass, and this one deflects down low, and Kreider thought he could put it back to Stepan, but he missed him with the pass. Kreider looked like he was in a prime scoring position. Now Richards. Stepan up high on Ramo. And he has that one in the trapper. And a little conversation between Chris Kreider and Kari Ramo. And it seems like Ramo likes to carry on a conversation or two.
Well, getting very aggressive with Kreider in front of the net. But that's amazing when you get to that position. The youngster there, he's got to handle it himself. You can't be making basic no-look passes. Use your size. You've got the good position. Try to make a good scoring opportunity on the goaltender, but it was fortunate for the Flames he didn't.
Alain Vigneault electing to make another change to his power play unit with just 15 seconds to go. So Charlie, the first and second unit have been out there twice for the Rangers on this man advantage.
You have the puck in the offensive zone as long as they did there. You have that opportunity, especially with the faceoffs.
Backlund takes the puck away, and he'll dump it down the ice. Blair Jones back out there. So the Flames were 5 for 5 on the penalty kill in Buffalo yesterday afternoon. They start off this game killing off the first Ranger man advantage. Now a chance as Monahan looking for it. Comes back to Russell. Over to TJ Brody. Here's Sean Monahan in tight quarters, and it comes free. Brian Boyle scrambles ahead for the Rangers into the Calgary end. Has Hagelin with him, and Carl Hagelin pops out in front, and the puck splits the two defensemen, comes all the way back down to the Rangers' end.
Rangers doing a little bit different as far as lineup tonight. They have 7 defensemen and 11 forwards, so Alain Vigneault really going to have to mix and match the lines.
Butler waiting for it. It's knocked away by Hagelin. As Butler blocked it off. Joe Colborne in, helping out. Derek Dorsett is there, and the puck comes to Lance Boma. He turns, plays it off the boards and out to center. With Brian McGrattan looking for the puck. Boma can't come up with it. It's brought across the line. Rangers on the attack. Long shot just goes wide by Dominic Moore. And coming all the way back down in his end is Pouliot. Calgary trying to turn it over. They do. Camilleri back to the point. Giordano, and his shot whistles over top of the net. Schmid pitchforks it behind the net. Stempniak after it, but John Moore is there. And this one is back down to the Calgary end. We mentioned Chris Butler playing in his 300th NHL game. The captain, Mark Giordano, his 400th NHL game this evening. Ryan McDonough rims it around the boards, cut off. Stempniak was there. Schmid will just swat it to the side of the net. Stajan, the overtime winner in Buffalo, gets it back to Giordano. Shoots, looking for the tip, and it's deflected back out into the neutral zone.
Rangers defense no different than any other defense we've seen this season or even on this road trip. They all fall back and help their goaltender as far as block shots.
But do they block as many as they did when the other guy was the coach?
No, the Tortorella spiel here was amazing as far as block shots, but big night yesterday afternoon in Buffalo.
First win since March 15th of 1996 for the Flames. First time they ever won in that building. Their last win came in the Memorial Auditorium. Take a look at the goalies, the coach, the guy who scored the game-winning goal. It had been a while, Charlie.
Lots of tie games, lots of overtime games, but you look at the number of years, almost a decade and a half. So good things are happening for this Flames team with their work ethic.
Blair Jones working down low. Can't get the puck by Richards. Now Derek Brassard after it. Chris Russell, his former teammate in Columbus, comes over and he'll keep it alive for Calgary. Delzato, his outlet works, but TJ Brodie waiting on it. Brodie's first game in Madison Square Gardens, and it is for a handful of the Flames. And you talked about it off the top, my friend. This is can be a tingling place to play.
Very exciting, and especially with the blue jerseys too. They're one of the classic sets of jerseys still left in the National Hockey League. The original 6 team. Always fun to come in and play this type of game.
Curtis Glencross will get it in. Yuri Hudler after it. Hudler, good success in his career against New York. Hasn't played them a lot. 3 goals and an assist in 4 career games against the Rangers for Hudler. Glencross got that one up high. Rick Nash turned away. Delzato back to get it. Delzato led the Rangers in points from the blue line last year, struggling a little bit this year. Monahan couldn't connect with the pass, and Lundqvist is going to touch it, and we've got a penalty coming up. When we come back, the Flames will go to their first power play. Ryder sitting in the penalty box for interference. How did it go down?
Still shaking his head. He's isolated on our screen, goes up and he kind of runs into Mark Giordano at that point, and he was bewildered of how he got that penalty. He is upset. He's still upset. He had the whole timeout to bark at the referees as they were standing outside the penalty box.
Calgary 0 for 4 in Buffalo with a man advantage. Matter of fact, you remember back October 21st, Flames were in Los Angeles. They scored 3 power play goals in a 3-2 victory. They've had 1 power play goal on the road since then. They're 1 for 33 away from the Dome with a man advantage. Tipped in front. They changed it right there. Michael Backlund, 1-0 Calgary.
Once again, Chris Kreider, 2 minutes remaining periods at 7.
Everybody sees the results of that, the goal scores, but it's the little tiny battles that the Flames have been trying to work on. First of all, face-offs. They've been criticized all season not having face-offs, but Chris Russell just picks his time and he waits for Backlund to get in front of the net. You can see as he's just waiting, there's the redirect by Michael Backlund up over the right shoulder of Lundqvist, and the Flames have themselves not only the lead, but a power play goal lead.
Backlund's first power play goal of the season, his 4th goal of the year, and Michael Backlund now with points in 3 consecutive games, and the Flames get a first period lead. First period goals have been a rarity involving the Flames of late. As we go to our first score and win winner by swiping a free club card, Harold Morley of Calgary has won a $250 gift card from Visions Electronics, courtesy of Safeway and Christie's Crackers.
Great timing by Chris Russell on that shot. He was not even thinking about trying to score the goal from that far out. Right on the ice and the redirect.
And what about winning a draw, Charlie? We talked about that with the Flames. This young club continues to get incrementally better in the face-off circle, and that was a big one. Now they need to win a defensive face-off. It comes back to the point, kept in, shot through traffic, and it's kicked right onto the stick of Stempniak. Mike Camilleri off the boards and in. He'll give chase, but Ryan McDonough is there. Looks up, his pass onto the stick of Dominic Moore. He'll dump it in and ties up with Butler. Here's Butler to Lee Stempniak. Lundqvist will play it to the corner. After it is Girardi, but Camilleri was there now to Stempniak. Back to the point. Butler in traffic. That one's tipped wide. Shane O'Brien down to Matt Stajan. McDonough wrapping his arms around him. Pouliot can't get it out, but now they will. As Derek Dorsett gets it onto Pouliot's stick and ahead to Moore. Moore scoring in that loss 4-2 to Columbus on Thursday. Butler will get it out. Delzato's going to play it right back in. Ramo will set it up for Butler. Shots are dead even at 4 apiece. Both teams with a power play. The Rangers failed to score on their man advantage. Calgary get a goal for Michael Backlund on theirs.
Mr. Kreider definitely will not be happy with the officials too on that call to Mark Giordano, because it didn't take long for the Flames to get that power play going.
New York Rangers in the midst of a franchise-high 9-game home streak, or homestand, I should say. They're 0-3-1 so far. Monahan to Hudler. Tapping it in. This is Monahan's job to go get it. Glencross in to give some help, but Zuccarello falls in the corner. Allows Monahan to get the puck back. Calgary can't get the shot through. Now Richards will flip it. Knocked down by Chris Russell. Blair Jones inserted back into the lineup. Dave Jones is out, so it was basically a Jones for a Jones deal. Now a chance. Blair Jones into the glove of Henrik Lundqvist. Oh, Blair Jones burst into the zone and had a terrific scoring opportunity.
Great opportunity, all developed by being patient in the defensive zone. One quick outlet pass and a sloppy coverage by the Rangers set up this 2-on-1. Good hard shot, but he was pressured. As you can see, the Ranger player coming over to block the shot. As John Moore, the defenseman, took out Michael Backlund and allowed Lundqvist the chance to get over quicker.
Flames win another face-off in the offensive end. Dustin Falk can't get it by Blair Jones. Paul Byron, the hero from yesterday, out there for Calgary with Backlund and Jones. Michael Backlund knocked down. Moore can't get it by Paul Byron. Byron works down the wall, gets it back to Jones, and it's off Backlund and into the mesh. And a little pushing and shoving as Michael Backlund getting involved with Falk in front of the Ranger net. Well, it's been that kind of start to this game for Michael Backlund. He's been feisty and he's been offensive, giving the Flames the lead. It's TELUS Flames Hockey. Charlie, what a difference a month makes. You look at November and the struggle that it was for Calgary, but a great start to December.
It really has been a good start, and it's been a tight battle. It's not an easy struggle as you look at the points, but all one-goal games. They've always been involved, but that's something they've done back what they did in October, where they had a good month, where they had 12 points. They found a way to tighten things up defensively, right from the goaltenders all the way out. The goaltenders, both of them, feeling a lot more relaxed between the pipes right now, and it's really reflecting all the way up and down the lineup. Also, maybe should be noted, in November, not a lot of Mark Giordano, not a lot of Curtis Glencross. Long lead pass, in all alone, Boma, but he can't beat King Henrik. Lundqvist standing tall. Big save for the Rangers as the Flames, using that stretch pass, we begin to see them go back to that on this road trip. Kari Ramo at the side of the net. He had to be careful as that puck came off the glass, bounced right to the crease. Shaking his head on that one. Nice sauce pass. This is a saucer from O'Brien. Carries all 3 zones. Right here, he sees it up in the air, lands perfect, and off to the races. Lundqvist holding that stick on the short side, coming up with the save. You can see how aggressive Lundqvist was coming outside the paint. What a great feed from Shane O'Brien.
Boma got in behind the rookie defenseman Dylan McElrath. Shot at the side of the net, puck comes through, but Rangers couldn't convert. Kreider was there, step in, took the shot, came right to Kreider, but no puck luck for number 20 in blue. McDonough, as the Rangers trying to get it to the middle of the ice. They play it off the board. Schmid is there, Stempniak takes off, and this one up high. Camilleri goes and retrieves it. Stempniak tied up on the play, so Camilleri will come to the other side of the ice to get the puck. All the way back, here's Chris Russell. Now to TJ Brodie. Brodie hits the red line, he'll dump it in. Flames have fresh troops over the boards. McDonough reversing it, back to Pouliot. Can't get it by Hudler, but Hudler couldn't quite get it cleanly across to Monahan. Glencross plays it in, Hudler's there, Jiri Hudler finds Glencross, hits the post! Oh, Curtis Glencross hit that post solid. Hagelin Trying to get around Butler. John Moore now in from the blue line, takes a bit of a hit, but makes the play. Strawman back at the point. Brody couldn't get to the puck. Moore still there for the Rangers, and his shot goes up and into the mesh. Here's a little bit of an audio replay for you, Charlie.
Well, the Flames have had a lot of breaks hitting the post behind Ramo, and this one was a little bit of tough leg. Nice play by Hudler. That's solid. You can't hit it any more square on than that one. Curtis Glencross picking his spot. Just a little bit too perfect with that shot, but Gary Hudler continues to give opportunities for the snipers of the Flames to get some goals.
Much better start to this game for Calgary than in Buffalo yesterday afternoon.
Notice the intensity. I think it's just because of the building and who they're playing against.
Off the shoulder of Ramo, point shot from Del Zotto. Now Richards. He'll play it back to the point. Justin Falk is there. Zuccarello knocked down by Giordano. He spun to the ice, and the Rangers will get their second power play of this first period.
Giordano very aggressive on that play, trying to get body position. Didn't quite have it. He reached around. See the end result of that. Zuccarello, that stick up underneath the chin.
Kind of pinwheel, didn't he?
Not the high stick. It's just going to be a holding call. Curtis Glencross trying to argue that call a little bit, but I do not think he's going to win that battle.
No. So the face-off to the left of Kari Ramos, staging to take it for Calgary. Stepan in there for the Rangers. And he is waved out. Brad Richards comes in to take the draw. Puck comes back to the point, but they can't keep it in. Just 2 shots in the first power play for New York. Stepan to Rick Nash. That play offside.
2 minutes for holding at 12:27.
Boy, Rick Nash just really hasn't caught on fire this season. And unfortunately for him, I think it was game 4 or 5 in San Jose. He took that shot to the head, missed 17 games. And since returning, the club, not only him has struggled, but the team itself, the Rangers, especially on this homestand, really have not been able to utilize his talent.
I'm a little surprised when I look. He's just 29 years old. He spent all those years in Columbus as Mr. Everything for the Blue Jackets. Now a chance for the Rangers. Oh, that one hit Boma up high. He's hurt. Lance Boma blocked one on the first Rangers power play. He blocks another one on this power play. Still out there. Boma after it. Nash again comes back to the point, and I'm not sure what's happening at the blue line, Charlie, but the Rangers not making connections. Calgary can't get it out. Kreider walking the line. McDonough will play it to the corner after it. Schmid winds up, can't get enough on it. Kick free by Stajan. And Matt Stajan working it along the boards. Richards gives it up. Butler will dump it down the ice.
I can tell you there's not a lot of time out there for them to make a play. The penalty killers of the Flames doing a tremendous job of being aggressive, being overly aggressive sometimes, and you can see the team, the Rangers, are struggling offensively. Take advantage of it.
New York trying to play it out in front. Pinballs around. Stepniak will swipe it. And this will come all the way back down into the Rangers' end. 30 seconds to go in the penalty to the captain, Mark Giordano. Del Zotto. Zuccarello. Round the boards. Brassard leaves it. It comes back to Girardi. Brassard. Girardi. Little give and go. Gaining some room on Boma. Side of the net. Puck comes back to the point. Girardi shoots. That one's blocked. Now a chance. Brassard. And hits goes off Paul Byron. Byron after it. He'll get to it. Giordano standing up. He's out. So the Flames killing off 2 Ranger power plays here in the first period.
Get the ice bag ready for Lance Boma. He took another one off his ankle that time. It's been shoulder, knee, ankle. Penalty killing has been great.
Flames get a goal from Backlund up. Charlie, this is a big boys game, and tell you what, Lance Boma playing a man's game today.
Already 4 block shots, all of them coming on penalty kill in all kinds of different ways. That time he spreads out, catches it low across the ankle. This one up high off the shoulder. And he is one of the main reasons that the Flames have been so successful in killing penalties, and so far 10 of their last 12 games.
Only the Montreal Canadiens have blocked more shots this season than the Flames. 603 blocks coming in, make that 610 blocks at this point, as they've already got in front of 7 Ranger opportunities here in the first. That's Giordano. Deshaun Monahan swept away by Brian Boyle. Schmid after it. Hudler tapping it out. Following up, Monahan looks for Glencross. Instead dumps it deep. And with Lundqvist. Around the boards. Hudler's there. Down low. Hudler. Side of the net. They score! Oh, what a play by Jiri Hudler. Glencross, the benefactor. And the Flames with a 2-0 lead.
Plus huge mistakes by the Rangers defensively, as the Henrik Lundqvist not really mishandled it. He put a nice little saucer pass around the boards. You're expecting your defenseman to pick that puck up and move out. That didn't happen. Stralman loses it. And then patience of Jiri Hudler and the strength and determination of Curtis Glencross right there. He's just battling. He's working his way to the front of the net, really protecting his stick. And that's just right there is a target for Hudler to hit, as Dorsett cannot contain the play of Curtis Glencross.
So Curtis Glencross picks up his 6th goal of the season, his first goal after missing 15 with a knee injury. This is his 3rd game back, and the Flames attacking with numbers. Camilleri, shot, Lundqvist, big rebound, but it's gobbled up. And Girardi lifts it ahead. New York, shot, they score! Caught the inside of the post. And Stepan answers back for New York.
The perfect shot by Stepan. At that point, a low shot, which normally you think with these goaltenders playing in that crouch position, they can catch it. This one was just the perfect shot through a screen and caught the inside of the far left post. Right there, and Rameau was out as far as you think he should be at that point, but right through the screen there, as you can see Russell trying to knock that puck down, just did not have enough time for Rameau to pick that puck up.
Derek Stepan, his 6th goal of the season, his first goal in 11 games, comes 25 seconds after the Flames had jumped out to a 2-0 lead. So a good response for the New York Rangers. And we'll see how Calgary responds as Paul Byron pushing with Justin Faulk.
Another look at this goal. Everybody seemed to be all covered, but Stepan with the perfect shot through the screen. Break up the ice at this point. Everybody's in pretty good position here. A little bit of a drop pass, and right there, just that split second that Rameau could not pick it up, and it was right along the ice.
First period goal that the Calgary Flames have surrendered in their last 6 games. Bill Colborne out to take the draw for Calgary.
Bob Hartley taking an opportunity to get the energy line out there, and he did that quite consistently yesterday afternoon against Buffalo.
John Scott played all of 90 seconds for the Sabres and spent more time in the penalty box than he did on the ice, and Cody McCormick got knocked out, so Ted Nolan forced to play 3 lines all game. And an advantage for the Flames to go with 4. Now the puck in Calgary's end. So Nash and Dan Girardi picking up the assist on Stepan's goal. And right now we've got Glencross's 6 from Hudler for Calgary, so that gets you caught up on the scoring. And funny enough, it's 2-1 here in New York. That's a familiar final that we've seen for the Flames of late. Lots of time left in this one. As it bounces off the top of the glass and into the crowd, somebody has a souvenir. And we've got a little shoving, and no surprising, Shane O'Brien's in the middle of it, as this is starting to take on a little bit of a life of its own. Sean Monahan grabbed from, or pardon me, is that Monahan or is that Butler? That's Butler grabbed from behind down there.
2 big boys looking at each other. McElrath and McGrattan. They're 2 big-time heavyweights McElrath just getting called up. This is his second National Hockey League game, leading the American Hockey League in penalties, and I imagine in those penalties there could be a few fisticuffs.
It could be a tussle or two. Our second score and win winner, courtesy of Curtis Glencross, is Karina Campbell of Lethbridge. She swiped a free club card and on behalf of Safeway and Christie's Crackers has won a Bradley Original Electric Smoker. Congratulations, Karina.
Shane O'Brien just frustrating. All right, you can see with the Dorsett at that point, they're frustrated, the Rangers. They're not winning at home. It's a big homestand for them. A little extra grab here and there, and that frustrates you.
What's interesting is the Rangers had the NHL's penalty minute leader in Derek Dorsett on the ice and the AHL's penalty minute leader in Dylan McElrath. So lots of muscle. Puck comes out in front, back to the point. Del Zotto with it in traffic on a swing and a miss as Richards tried to bat it in from an odd angle. Hoodler reversing it back to Giordano.
Rangers have done a really good job of doing that, not giving that puck away if there's no play involved. They're not afraid to go back, recycle the puck, and that throws off the defensive coverage of the opposing team.
Very green that way. Puck dumped into the Calgary. Well, you recycle, green. Helping everything out. Why waste things,
Government
right?
grant, maybe?
Perhaps. Camilleri looking for Stempniak. Anton Strawman back for the Rangers. Waiting for it. Brody at the point. Can't get it deep. Here's Rick Nash. Into Calgary territory with options. Step on is one of them. Kreider behind the net loses it. Brody is there. Brody lifts it off the board. Stempniak helps it out. And back to pick it up is Nash. Strawman. Into the glove of Kariramo. And he will hang on to it. The hero from yesterday afternoon in Buffalo, Matt Stajan, Yuri Hoodler as well. Shot makes it through off the post. Oh, the Rangers now hitting a post. Have we kept count of how many posts behind Kariramo in the last 3 games? Giordano, the trailer on the play. His shot up into the body of Lundqvist. Paul Byron in. Jones throwing some fists at Justin Falk, and the Flames have been all over Falk here in the first period.
I'm not sure what Falk has against Paul Byron. I know it can't be his size. That's the second or third time they've confronted each other, but give credit to Paul Byron to getting involved right to the front of the net. And we get another look at the other post as Stefan goes off the post on a rebound play. Shaking his head at that point. What does a goaltender say? That's your favorite player. Your post. That's all I gave him.
That's all.
Everything else was covered.
Sean Monahan to take the draw against Brian Boyle. 2-1 Calgary late here in the first period. Shots favoring the Flames 10-6. A much better first period for Calgary. Hoodler. His backhand goes beyond Brody. He'll come back to his own blue line. Over to Russell. Hoodler trying to go cross ice, but Glencross not there. Now Monahan plays it off Del Zotto. Monahan trying to keep it in, swipes at it, misses it. Boyle has it, and he takes a bump from Hoodler. Ramo onto the stick of Brody. Room up the middle for Hoodler. Glencross just sees him now, and the pass behind him. Boy, the Flames are getting in behind the Rangers blue liners, aren't they?
With space too, and time, and it all starts with the breakout and the lack of defensive coverage to the neutral ice zone by the Rangers.
Camilleri looking for it, but it's exited by Hagelin. Zuccarello gives chase. Now Ladislav Schmid in his own end. Camilleri gives it to Stajan. Nice move through the middle. Stajan to Stempniak, shoots off the glove of Lundqvist behind the net. Stajan looking for it. Comes up the boards. Camilleri jockeying for position. Broussard will lift it across the red line. Butler back to get it. Less than a minute to go here in the first period. 11-6 of the shots in favor of the Flames, up by 1. Camilleri bounce pass to Backlund. He opened the scoring for the Flames. Can't control it. Has Jones with him. Broussard looking for the puck. Blair Jones for Calgary. Knocked down as Richards caught a piece of him. Backlund in behind the net. Back to the point. Butler loads up his shot way over top of the net. Rangers get it, trying to settle it down, and they'll shoot it back in the Calgary end. Both teams a little tired, making changes. One last gasp up the ice here in the first period. Dorsett has it for New York. Nearly gave it away to Paul Byron, and the Rangers will get it out for the Flames after 20 minutes of play with a 2-1 lead over the New York Rangers. It was Backlund, it was Glenn Cross before Stepan answered back. More with Roger Millions when we come back after this.
Very contained type of hockey, but on the power play, Michael Backlund starts the play, protects the puck, and then gets to the front of the net for the redirect for Michael Backlund. That's his 4th of the year. And then another turnover caused by the Rangers allows Yuri Hudler to find Curtis Glencross in front of the net for his 6th of the year. Unfortunately for that, not long, just 25 seconds later, the perfect shot by Stepan, his 6th of the year from Rick Nash through a screen, beat Kari Ramo.
Well, here is the first period scoring summary brought to you by Future Shop. For the season's hottest gadgets at the best price, guaranteed. Head to futureshop.ca. Season's greetings from Future Shop.
Another look at the goal scorers. Backlund is 4th, Glencross is 6th, Stepan is 6th. Face-offs almost 50%. The Rangers 2% a little bit better, but Michael Backlund had himself a very good time on the face-off circle, 67%, plus picking up the first goal of the game on the power play.
Eric Stepan, his first goal in 11 games. He was a holdout. If you remember, the Rangers came through Calgary during the preseason and he had not signed, and Glenn Sather made some comments that said, you know, hey, you might want to get the deal done here right away, and they were able to consummate it before the end of the preseason, and he hasn't missed a beat. Underway here in the second period, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Puck is gloved ahead by the Rangers, and face-off will stay in the neutral zone.
Mike Camilleri not real happy with his game yesterday, he said. The afternoon game in Buffalo, but as he mentioned, not too hard to get up and get motivated for a game in Madison Square Garden.
He has played the Rangers, including this game, 12 times in his NHL career, 14 points. Seems to me he gets up to play the New York Rangers.
Well, if you don't have that motivation, even that self-motivation to not to play here, the crowd and the team usually can get you in that mode pretty quick.
Here's the goal scorer for the Rangers, Stepan after it, but Russell taking the hit. Stajan looking for the pass. Russell and Stepan behind the play were tangled up for a moment. It's an icing call.
Everybody clap your hands.
This period brought to you by Toyota. The year-end countdown is on now, making it the perfect time to get into a new Toyota.
Stajan Broussard to take the draw, and it's the Rangers who have it. Back to the point. Dan Girardi finds Brad Richards. Cross ice, and Michael Del Zotto with it. He'll go down low. Zuccarello to Richards. Oh, he hit Broussard at the side of the net. That might have caught him on the side of the knees. Up and okay. Broussard didn't play Thursday against the Columbus Blue Jackets, his former team. He missed that one with a lower body injury. Now Richards on the backhand, and Ramo will turn it away. That one's up high. He comes back to the point. Del Zotto, side of the net. Ramo's down, and the puck goes to the corner. Brody will sweep it. And the Rangers buzzing to start the second period. Brody goes the other way. Backlund tips it out to the neutral zone. And it's fired right back in by Derek Dorsett.
Rangers come pretty close there. Unfortunately for them, Matt Zuccarello was playing in front of the net. No stick. It was broken. Still had the shaft in his hand as he was looking for the rebound.
Dorsett into the middle. And Dominic Moore turned away. Flames Backlund. He opened this scoring on the power play. Crossed the line, and that one handled by Henrik Lundqvist, who looks like he's really deep in his net.
Especially that shot, not much to worry about from that distance out there. But here comes the shot from the point. It's going to break. There's the stick. It's broken. Oh, still got it. Look at, can't play with it. Fortunately, he didn't get the 2-minute penalty for playing with the broken stick, but the rebound is sitting right there and he can't get a handle on it. Zuccarello, 6 goals in 32 games.
19-year-old Sean Monahan in to take the draw for Calgary. His second game back. Rangers win it. Ryan McDonough will flip it up the middle. This is by everybody. Hustling back is Giordano, and with the hybrid icing this year, all he needed to do was get to the hash marks, which he does. Mentioned, Charlie, that this is a franchise longest homestand of 9 games for the Rangers.
And they have not been great coming out of the gates. They played 9 consecutive games to start the season on the road. Well, the arena was getting finished. Just the overtime point against New Jersey. Didn't play well against Washington. Didn't play well against Nashville. And struggled right out of the gates against Columbus in the first period.
The rivals, Pittsburgh here on Wednesday. The Islanders here on Friday. The next week, Minnesota and Toronto to finish off the homestand.
And that's when you look at the Metropolitan Division. It's really not the strongest division. Right now, if you 35 points would have you in the playoffs, and Alain Vigneault coming over from Vancouver last year, it's been a little bit of a task for him to undo the coaching style that John Tortorella had. And you mentioned we didn't finish the story in the first period about all those block shots that the guys were trained to do. So now you have a new system, and that's where there could be a little bit of indecision, especially early in the season.
Del Zotto, shot whistles wide. Mike Camilleri will chop it to the blue line. Rick Nash, turnaround shot tipped on the way through. Ramo pokes at it. Camilleri will get it back, but Del Zotto keeping it in. Now Dan Girardi in the corner, behind the net, step on, can't get it by Giordano. Giordano trying to take it away from Stepan. Ladislav Schmid is there. Stepniak turns at the blue line, races out to the red line, he'll dump it in. Flames making a few changes. Nash back to get it, gives it up. Stajan in his hip pocket, trying to come up with the puck. Now that's Boma after it. And Girardi. He plays it out to center, and Russell has to come back down into Calgary territory. Brody's there first, though, for the Flames. Calgary will be into Boston on Tuesday to take on the Bruins. Not a great night for the Bruins in Vancouver last night. Not a great night for former Flame captain Jerome McGinley. Get a chance to check out the finger after the fight with Kessler.
Oh, I heard that it was not in the normal position, though. Getting caught up into the jersey of Kessler, I should say.
I'm no doctor, nor do I wish to play one on TV, but that didn't look good, and that didn't work out either as the Rangers fired to their own bench.
The Rangers had to expect for them to come out a little bit stronger in the second period. Very lethargic start to the game for Alain Vigneault and his blue shirts here in New York. So for the Flames, is to get through the first 5, 6 or 7 minutes is just to slow things down, get themselves back into a routine. And when they do, they really control the puck very well through that first period. They had the majority of the time with the puck when they weren't killing penalties. And that's a frustrating style of play to try and play against.
Flames doing what the Flames do. They've blocked 9 shots already. Lance Boma blocking 4 of them himself. Rimmed around to the point. And O'Brien is there. This time he puts it into his own bench. And Reto Berra had to be a little careful there.
The Rangers just 1 block shot. I mean, that's John Tortorella would be fuming at this point.
Well,
I mean, there's not 5 or 6 a shift. Come on.
Last year, Girardi led the National Hockey League with 125 blocks. The Rangers, that's what they're all about, or were all about. Not so much anymore. Now Monahan. It's waved out of the circle, so Yuri Hudler will come in. Shots are 3-1 here in the second period in favor of the Rangers. As Hudler takes to the boards. Benoit Pouliot is in there trying to dig it free for the Rangers. McDonough takes a hit. Puck comes to the other side, and it's chopped back out. Pouliot can't come up with it. Monahan back, but he gives it away to Dorsett. Now Hudler to Butler. Off the boards. Glenn Cross swipes at it. Was it enough for icing? No, it wasn't. So this is going to come back down into Calgary. And And I mentioned the Calgary Flames will be in Boston to take on the Bruins. We're going to have it for you on Sportsnet West beginning at 4:30 with the Hockey Central panel, and Roger's going to have some guests from the ice, and we'll have some thoughts on it. Always fun when the Flames and the Bruins hook up.
Bruins finishing that long West Coast trip you mentioned last night.
Zuccarello over to Girardi. He lifts it in. Chris Butler in his 300th NHL game will rim it around the boards to Glenn Cross. Curtis Glenn Cross picking up a goal in the first period too. 6th of the year. First since he missed 15 games with a knee injury. Monahan. Let Brassard tie him up. Things a little less freewheeling than what we saw in the first period here, as it's got a little tighter checking.
Got to be the liking of Bob Hartley and his staff to continue to play that style of hockey, especially when you're on the road in a building like this. Usually this building is electrifying, and right now it's dead.
Taking the crowd out of it.
There's nothing going on in this stadium right now. So the Flames are doing the job that they need to do. They just have to make sure that at appropriate times that they don't be afraid to get going on the offense.
There Jones wins the draw from Derek Stepan. Giordano hustles it ahead to Paul Byron, and he's crunched into Paul Dvorsky, the linesman. Paul Byron, 4 points in his last 2 games, a goal and 3 helpers. Greg Dvorsky got in the way momentarily, but he got out of the way long enough for the Flames to make the play. That one hits me. Go back. Sometimes you're just sitting waiting for something to happen, and the puck hits you. Byron to Backlund. Backlund shot hits Justin Falk. Now the Rangers come across center. Del Zotto's going to lead the rush. Shoots. That one's blocked. Chris Russell steps in front of it. Second in the league in that category. Between Chris Russell, Chris Butler, and Ladislav Schmid, the Flames have 3 players in the top 15 in block shots.
It's an art, and it's a commitment you have to make to it. To go with your system and stay with it, and hopefully not catch a spot without.
Russell shot whistles wide. Kreider can't catch up to it. Now at the line. It's tipped away from Dorsett by Boma, but Derek Dorsett catches up to it. And that's Boma to Brody. Backhands it, looking for Brian McGrattan. He'll tip that in on Ryan McDonough. McGrattan trying to gain position. McDonough. Nice play to play it back to the point. Shane O'Brien swipes it away. The Rangers now trying to take advantage of some room. This one's backhanded in. Ramo had decided the net. Butler knocked down. Can't get it out. Hagelin tied up by Colborne, and Colborne hits the side of the net, knocks it off its moorings, and the whistle goes. Face-off in the offensive zone. 2-1, Calgary up in the second. It's TELUS Flames hockey.
It's time to live the game with Windows. And they sure know how to live in New York with Madison Square Garden. This is the renovations that went underway at MSG. 3 years, $1 billion, 2.6 million man-hours, 2,851 tons of steel. That's what it took to renovate this place. Amazing building, always has been, and now it has a facelift to the tune of $1 billion. Live the game with Windows.
Looks good, doesn't it?
It really does. Came in and really utilized the building as far as corporate, I should say luxuries, as far as the suites and concessions, working on the stands. They did a great job.
Michael Backlund trying to get it out. He's repelled on the first opportunity. Now Blair Jones to Paul Byron. He'll flip it in. Jones' job to go get it. Taken into the boards by Zuccarello, but Paul Byron is there for Calgary. Loses his grip on the puck, and it comes back to the blue line of the Flames, and Ladislav Schmid is there. One-time member of the Edmonton Oilers, Schmid gets it to Jones. Gains the line. Backlund open on the far side, but the puck never got to him. Michael Backlund is playing some of his best hockey the last couple of seasons here in the month of December. Would you agree?
Just the confidence level, I think, and that's been the biggest thing with Michael, especially when you have a new coaching system come in last year, a shortened season. You don't really get into a good rhythm, and this year he has just worked on that.
That's Stajan trying to get it to Camilleri, but Pouliot was back, and he has the puck. Here he comes for the Rangers. into Calgary territory. Pouliot shoots, stopped by Kari Ramo. Side of the net, Ramo, wraparound, they score! Carl Hagelin ties the game at 2.
Great speed through the neutral ice zone by the Rangers, especially Pouliot, who started the play, got the puck back right through here. He just jumped on that loose puck, shot is wide. Ramo comes back, makes the first save, cannot get back to that left post quick enough. And that's where anybody on the ice has to identify a dangerous player out there, especially with the puck carrier. Right here, Chris Butler protecting the front of the net, but both him and Ramo cannot get over in time to stop that shot by Hagelin.
Hagelin's 6th of the year, and the Rangers have evened this at 2 at one point. They trailed 2-0. Briefly, though, as Derek Stepan scored 25 seconds after Glencross, and now here in the second period, we're back even, or are we? Side of the net! Stepan looking for a second as Rick Nash bowling his way through the slot area. Nash out in front, and Kreider plays that one wide. Brody after it. Chris Kreider has the puck, comes up near side, back to the point. Strawman shot blocked. Glencross after it. Can he get to it in time? No. Ryan McDonough came a long way over to get Curtis Glencross and the puck. Strawman passed by everybody. Brody flipping it through the air. This one's knocked down in center. Coming back the other way, Hagelin blockered away by Ramo. Sharp angled shot goes off a skate. Boma chips it up to the red line. Pouliot is there. Alain Vigneault putting this line right back out after they scored the tying goal. That's Boma hard around the boards. It gets by everybody. Could be an icing call. As Moore back, it is an icing call.
Another look at the way the Rangers are starting to put a little bit of pressure in front of the net. Nash with a good opportunity. The first shot is blocked, followed through, and just got it into the front of the net. And that's a type of play that, boy, that was a lucky goal. You think, well, that's not the way it's supposed to be done. But in today's game, get that puck in traffic, and you can make things happen from there.
Hagelin from Pouliot and Dominic Moore. Moore now with points in consecutive games for the Rangers. Shot off the blocker of Ramo. Certainly this period has belonged to New York, at least to this point. We're nearing the midway part of the frame. Brody to Chris Russell. Right out to the middle, and there's Joe Colborne. Backhand it off a Ranger player, but that's up into the Flames bench. As you got a little...
we talked about the big boys.
A little something going on as Brian McGrattan and Dylan McElrath.
McElrath wanted to join. Brian McGrattan said no. The linesman said no, you guys aren't going. As Lance Boma was trying to finish his check along the boards against John Moore.
So a pair of 17s will sit down, Boma and Moore respectively.
Right at the whistle. It's Boma coming in. There's a little bit of a push and shove at that point. Nothing really happening there as the whistle already started, and then John Moore and Lance Boma just a little bit of stick work. Just out of the picture, the big boys were eyeing each other up.
Go back to the events of Thursday, Charlie, when Brian Burke made the change at the top for Calgary, spoke to the media, and was asked about this team. This team doesn't shortchange anybody on effort, but like them to be tougher, like them to be bigger, like them to play more aggressively, truculent. That word was used. Last 3 games we've seen glimpses and signs of that happening.
Again, you're looking at first of all, you work with what you have on the bench and on the ice. So you don't have all these big heavyweights, but you can play bigger than you are, and that mostly revolves around skating, getting them involved like they have been lately of just being active physically, taking the body, making sure that nobody gets around you, sticking up for each other. That's a big part of being bigger.
Shots are 7-1 in favor of the Rangers, 13-12, 7-1 here in the second, 13-12 in the game. We're skating a little 4-on-4 hockey as Bowman Moore in the box, and Paul Byron. This works to his advantage. Anton Strawman has it. Strawman content to buy a little time here and find some room. Now it's brought in. Rangers go wide. And the whistle goes, and a penalty coming up as Kari Ramo, I'm just noticing now, is not standing in front of his net. He's laying down inside of it.
Schmid also was knocked down by Hagelin as he was trying to cut right through the middle of the ice. And just a shot from behind, I should say, on Mark Giordano by Hagelin. That sent Giordano into Ramo, which instigated the penalty. Right here comes Mark Giordano getting hit from behind from Hagelin, the goal scorer. So now a little 4-on-3. We haven't seen too much of that this season.
I was watching Ryan McDonough come up the wall with the puck, and the next thing I know, there's Kari Ramo on his back. Flames on the power play for the second time in this game. They are 1 for 1 as Michael Backlund scoring on the power play in the first period. It's a 4-on-3 because of the coincidental minors that happened before. Hoodler up top. Giordano winds up. That one hits a skate. Mike Camilleri parked in front of the net. He's got a real fencing situation with McDonough. Created some room, but the pass, again, errant. Went off a stick to skate. Wow, is that a war in front of the net between McDonough and Camilleri. Now Hoodler. Giordano loads up, and he hit McDonough in the back of the leg. And the Rangers clear.
Mismatch as far as size, but Mike Camilleri is instigating all the contact in front of that. He's trying to distract everybody and have the one-timers try to get through.
So 25 seconds in the 4-on-3. That's into the glove of Henrik Lundqvist as Chris Russell looking top shelf.
A look at the action in front of the net, and again, here's what we talk about being size. You don't have to be the biggest. There's the instigating. Let's start it. Let's keep it going. And all of a sudden now he's more focusing on Mike Camilleri as opposed to the other three players. There's that glove save on a shot by Russell as the screen was set up in front of the King. Lundqvist.
Curtis Glencross out with Giordano, Russell, and Hoodler. 22 seconds remaining in the 4-on-3. Puck comes back to Lundqvist. He'll set it up, and Ryan McDonough has it. He'll just fire it down the ice. Russell. Who to play it to? It's Glencross. Cross the line back to Russell. The captain Giordano moves to the middle of the ice. Now Hoodler. Penalized players back out on the ice, so it's a 5-on-4, and John Moore enters the fray as Boma went off and Backlund comes on for Calgary. And the Flames still with 30 seconds of power play time, but in the conventional 5-on-4 format. Lundqvist out of the net as Backlund charging in after it. Comes back to the point. Brody is there. Over to Hoodler. Yuri Hoodler. Back to Brody. Down low. Glencross to Brody. Shot. And it comes to Glencross. Dominic Moore got a piece of it. Here's Brody. To Hoodler. Glencross in front. Backlund swiped at it. He couldn't get enough of it. Hagelin out of the box. So the Flames 1 for 2 in this game on the power play. And it's an icing call against the Rangers, and Hagelin, who was already upset about being penalized, not happy with that call either.
There was a race for that loose puck. Michael Backlund would love to have that back, but we're starting to see the Rangers of old with all the block shots. There's the quick fan on it, and then he couldn't get the handle as he overcommitted on the original shot. Nice little soft backhand, and then Curtis Glencross continues it right to the front of the net.
Camilleri back out with Stajan and Stempniak. Schmid and Butler are the point men. And we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Schmid shot, whistles wide. Stajan swats at it, but Stepan has it. Butler journeys in from the blue line. He comes back to Camilleri, who's covering up. Now a little trouble controlling it for Butler, but Hagelin will play it down the ice and head off for a change. So lots of time for the Flames.
4 block shots by the Rangers on that last penalty kill, so they've adjusted that type of defensive play a little bit.
Up the ice, Camilleri, tied up by Stralman, but Stempniak carries on. Trying to find some room. Stempniak couldn't get to the puck, and Anton Stralman with it. Del Zotto, hard pass to Rick Nash. Fires it into the Calgary end. Brody is pushed to the corner by big Chris Kreider, but Flames will come up with the puck, or will they? On second reflection, yes, Curtis Glencross will get it out for the Flames. New York choosing to go with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen in this game, and a turnover. Monahan, and the pass coming back from Glencross, intercepted by the Rangers as Monahan turned a puck over offensively for Calgary. Del Zotto down low. Chris Kreider to Stepan. Watched by Russell. Now back at the point, Justin Falk, and his shot goes wide. Racing in, Del Zotto unloads, and Ramo with a nice toe save. Great hockey game at MSG as we're here in the second period. 2-2 Flames and Rangers. There's a few mistakes out there, but they're leading to chances.
Great opportunities for both teams. Right now, the Rangers are a little bit more aggressive on those loose pucks, much like the Flames were in that first period.
Calgary trapped offside, so they'll have to clear the zone. Zuccarello, cross ice. Ramo steers the puck away. Broussard, not much on that shot. And here's Lance Boma. Across center. Joe Colborne has to go get it. McElrath is there. It's been his second National Hockey League game. It's up to Broussard. Derek Broussard to Moore. Now we got a fight. The kid wants it. The kid's going to get it. Brian McGrattan and Dylan McElrath. McElrath, the penalty minute leader in the American Hockey League. And Brian McGrattan trying to get those rights free. This one comes in front of the Rangers box, and McGrattan, again, very patient, but this young man is game.
Boy, he's big too, 6'5", 230. They're about the same size. McGrattan gets that helmet off, and here comes the rabbit punches. He's known for that. He's just not afraid to keep throwing those at that point. Gets the advantage, 2 or 3, and they've got her hurt. I tell you what, they've got her hurt off the side of the head.
Oh, some bombs now by McGrattan. He just straightened him up. And it looks like the linesmen are going to jump in here in a second, and they do.
A little bit of a nod again. It's always the end of the fight. Good job, kid.
There's an honesty amongst those players. 2-2 Flames and the Rangers here in the second period. It's TELUS Flames hockey.
Pacific Goals for Kids is proudly sponsored by Canadian Pacific and its 2,700 railroaders based in Calgary. For every Flames goal this season, the Railway will donate $250 to Kids Sport and the Flames Even Strength program. Goals by Flames help CP build stronger kids and stronger communities.
See a little invitation to the dance right here. They squared off a couple times, and there's the invitation. What do you think? You want to go? You want to go? Well, let's go. And away they go. That was the recipient of a big right there. How did I do? Pretty good? Yeah, you did good, kid. And that's the way, I mean, that's that respect. And it's such a tough business what they do. And they have that mutual respect between them. It's amazing.
Brian McGrattan's 6th fight of this season. Dylan McElrath's first NHL fight. Calgary and the Rangers deadlocked at a pair of goals here in the second period. Giordano comes over. He has it. Lifts it through the air. Paul Byron awaiting, but it bounces by him, and Justin Falk has it. Here's Falk, one-time member of the Minnesota Wild, acquired this offseason by the Rangers. Slowed down by Giordano. He'll chop at it. Byron is there. He'll get it off the boards to Backman, but coming over and taking it away is Derek Dorsett. Dorsett tied for the NHL lead with 9 fights. Do you think he feels left out?
He could be a little left out, but after seeing those big bombs being thrown, I'm not sure.
Fair enough.
Be a part of it. And again, not that he would not oblige.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he's a tough hombre himself.
Rangers have it across the line. Oh, a hard shot by Dorsett off the shoulder of Kari Ramo. And Dorsett with it. Being watched by Shane O'Brien. Hagelin trying to pump it at the side of the net. He does, and he just misses. Carl Hagelin has really liked to take a lot of shots from that side. Scored here in the second period to tie the game. Another opportunity there. Butler, quick pass to Shane O'Brien. O'Brien up the middle and hits Yuri Hudler literally with the pass. And Hudler finds Glencross in And offside. Oh, the Flames have been behind the Rangers blue liners all night, but that time it didn't work out.
Mind you, Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's game is Christie Crackers. Also, stay tuned on Sportsnet West at 8:30 p.m. tonight. It's 24/7. The Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs road to the Winter Classic again, 8:30 Mountain Time on Sportsnet West.
Last time the Flames were in New York to play the Rangers, November 20th of 2010, so just over 3 years. Rangers won that game 2-1. 2-2 here in the second. Russell clears it away from in front of the net. Brody after it. He'll play it off the boards, and it comes back to Russell. A bouncing puck. And Camilleri couldn't get it to lay down for him. Now Rick Nash loses control. Here's Stajan. Overtime winner in Buffalo yesterday afternoon. Stajan dumps it deep, gets it back, plays it out in front. Camilleri couldn't quite reach it. And the Rangers turn it up Broadway. Ryder. Oh, that was not pretty. But the puck stays in for New York. They'll take it. Here's Rick Nash. Smothered by Ladislav Schmid along the boards. Stajan. Going to push it back to his defenseman Russell, but it's the Rangers who still have it. Ryder back to the point. Delzado's shot blocks Stempniak in front of that. Stajan after it. Tied up with Carl Hagelin. Hagelin's had a heck of a second period for the Rangers.
The Rangers have had a great period out shooting the Flames 12-3. So a little bit of different hustle and sense of urgency for the Rangers here.
Now Hagelin right into the slot, poked away. Will it get out? It looked like it. It did. And it's offside.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
Take a look at Chris Butler in his 300th NHL game this evening. Boy, he was excited about that win in Buffalo, his former team, yesterday.
He's been an offensive machine as of late. The game-winning overtime goal against Carolina. Nice little feed to Paul Byron to get that game tied up in Buffalo.
Well, if you have him in your hockey pool, you may want to activate it. Puck stolen by Paul Byron, trying to get it out in front, but Falk is there. Byron gets it back from Falk. John Moore leans into the situation. Backlund coming over. Giordano in traffic. That one's tipped, but right into the body of Falk. And he'll play it ahead with McGrattan in the penalty box. Backlund getting some extra time on this line. That's a little bit of a reward. Or pardon me, this is his line. He stays out there. Changed him a couple of times here in the last couple of games. Different combinations for Bob Hartley. Now Brody in the corner. Zuccarello takes the puck away. It comes back to Stralman. Now Brassard. Stralman. That one's blocked. There's no shortage of former Blue Jackets in this game, is there? Here's Richards, former Dallas Star and Tampa Bay Lightning. He loses the puck. Glencross, one-time member of the Blue Jackets, gets the puck out.
A lot of players involved, especially in that one big trade with Nash in Columbus.
McDonough down low. Rangers go to the net. Passed off, and Richards couldn't get it clean. New York continue to buzz. Just over a minute to go here in the second period. Stralman comes down from the blue line. He'll go to the corner. Richards is there. Back up top. Ryan McDonough forced on the play. Russell knocks it out of midair. Back at the point. Big Ryan McDonough keeps it alive. Zuccarello trying to play it back out in front. Now Hudler knocking Zuccarello down. Fans don't like that. And Glencross not liking what he's seeing, just flips it down the ice. Perfect weight. Not an icing call, and Flames and Rangers make changes.
Great hang time there. Flames wanting to get fresh troops out there for the last 40 seconds of the second period.
Ari Ramo in the trapezoid, backhanding it ahead. Paul Byron hustles up to catch it. He cuts across center. Byron over to Camilleri off the shoulder of Lundqvist. It'll bounce back to Schmid. Now Byron hits Delzato into the boards. Camilleri with the Vulcan leg lock on Girardi, knocking him down. There's been a lot of good wrestling matches in MSG. Bruno Sammartino and the likes. Here's Byron in front, and a swipe through the air by Stajan. Calgary with a late buzz. One last chance, perhaps? No, as it's played back to the line. And just one goal in the second period. Carl Hagelin, his 6th of the year, tying it at 2. Flames and Rangers after 40, deadlocked. More from MSG when we come back. Michael Backlund has made a nice debut on Broadway tonight, don't you think? Coming into this game, we highlighted him as a Flames player who's on an uptick, and that's carried into this game.
It has, and he's leading the team in shots with 4 shots on net. He's just about 11 minutes of ice time. But again, he's been giving that more responsibility as far as what he has to do with the puck or without the puck. And defensively, he starts off a lot of plays. And that's something that he's learned over time, how to play defensive hockey. Now he's starting to get the opportunity offensively. The coaching staff, management want him to be more aggressive in the offensive zone. He does a great job here, winning that face-off and then finding space and battling towards the front of the net, where he picked up his 4th goal of the year, his first power play goal of the season.
Tonight's scoring summaries are brought to you by Panago Pizza. Before, during, or after the game, get a fresh Panago.
Pretty strong first period for the Flames. 2 goals. The Backlund is 4th. Curtis Glencross is 6th. And unfortunately, Derek Stepan gets his 6th of the year just 25 seconds after the Glencross goal. All Rangers in the second period, including 12-3 on shots on net. Hagelin gets his 6th of the year to get things tied up. So, boy, what a surprise. A tied game going into third period for the Flames.
The Calgary Flames have played a league-leading 21 one-goal games this year. And you're right, but it won't end 2-1, Charlie, which the 4 previous games that the Flames were involved in did. This one is going to at least end 3-2.
Well, and if you throw in the 3 empty net goals that were against them, you're talking close to 25 out of the 32 games are 1-goal games.
Ryan McDonagh has it for the Rangers. We're underway here in the third period. Shots are 18-14. As we showed you on the graphic. Rangers out shooting Calgary 12-3 in the second period. Giordano hustling over to get to it, blocks it off, and gets a little help from you-know-who, Michael Backlund. Here's Blair Jones. He out of the lineup the last 2 games, back in there tonight. Paul Byron, 4 points in his last 2 games. So lots to talk about with this line combination for Bob Hartley. McDonagh ahead. Kreider hits the red line, and he'll play it all the way down the ice. Harry Ramo facing the New York Rangers for just the 2nd time in his career. He played them as a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning and picked up a win. And Lundqvist will play it along the boards. Zuccarello, long cross-ice pass, hits Brad Richards just inside the Calgary line. He's forced to go back to the blue line. He'll keep it alive. Bouncing around, shot tipped up by the stick of Brody. As you take a look, Brad Richards, what a 2004 he had. Lady Byng, Conn Smythe, we all know about the big trophy he hoisted. But he really does like to play Calgary, doesn't he?
19 points in 17 games. A little bit of an off year last year in the shortened year. Just 25 points. I should say 34 points in 46 games that he played last year. Only 11 goals. This year he has 9 already, so a much more upbeat offensive type of player Brad Richards is this year under the new head coach Alain Vigneault.
Anton Strawman at the point has room, shoots, and that one's blocked by Matt Stajan. That's the Flames' 20th block of this game. Dominic Moore, his pass by its intended target. But Stempniak having a hard time to get it off the boards and out, so we get a little help from Stajan. Looking for Camilleri. The bobbling going on with Strawman. It's the puck to McDonagh and Hagelin. Gets it in. Dorsett. Back to Hagelin. Carl Hagelin, watched by Sean Monahan. Puck comes back to the point. Girardi's shot goes off a leg. And McDonagh will play it up, but into the glove of Kari Ramo, and he'll hang on to it.
Kari Ramo, 6-5-1 on the season. Now has a save percentage over 90% because of the 4 wins in his last 5 starts. Only 7 goals against during that time period. And that's what Michael Backlund talked to Roger between 1 and 2, how their goaltenders have given them an opportunity to win the last little stretch after getting through November.
John Moore's shot makes it through. He'll get it back. Flames Blair Jones. To Giordano, up to Paul Byron, trying to get around Justin Falk. Boy, Byron and Falk have gone hammer and tong at each other in this game.
Byron just staying right in his face.
I love the line that Bob Hartley trotted out before Buffalo. Yeah, he's 5'0" on paper, but he's 6'6" on the ice. And did the Rangers just get caught with too many men on the ice? As Zuccarello had the puck hit him in the heel as he was heading off.
And that took away an offensive opportunity. I'll say it's not a dangerous one.
And Bob Hartley getting an explanation. I think they're just whistling it dead. I don't think there's a minor involved.
The puck had turned possession back to the Rangers, so the 1 foot still on the ice, which this clearing pass hit. Jumped on, player's just waiting. The door's not open, it's not open. There it opens and hit him right in the foot. So it's kind of a play. You're okay with that one?
Yeah, unintentional. Face-off comes at center ice. Well, if you're Bob Hartley, you're not okay with that. You want the power play, right?
Exactly.
Especially after what happened in Buffalo. Russell leading the rush. Flames had a goal taken away in the first period with too many men on the ice. Now a shot blocked. Stempniak offering that up, but the Rangers getting in front of it.
No question there.
No.
Wow, where'd all those guys come from?
Yeah, not even close. Chris Russell hard around the boards. Lee Stempniak will let it get out. Homecoming for Stempniak of sorts yesterday from West Seneca, a suburb in the Buffalo area. And I think he had some family with him.
An opportunity to talk with his dad. Met him on the father-son trip in Los Angeles.
Pouliot up high on Rama. Couldn't handle the rebound. Behind the net, there's Hagelin again. Lays it out in the slot. Nobody home. McGrattan gets it out. Gets it to the red line, but no further. Pouliot's had a very good game.
Very good skater, and that's part of the reason where he's able to get himself into those offensive opportunities and create turnovers.
Zuccarello forced out, trying to flip it over the shoulder of Rama. Goal shift for Brian Boyle. Hagelin back to the point. That one greens off a pair of Flames players as Colbert trying to dig it out. He does, and he's going to play it out. Unfortunately, this is going to be an icing call, and the Flames are going to be trapped with the fourth line out there.
Colborn must realize that at that situation, yes, they're tired, they've been hemmed in, but if he takes 1 or 2 strides with the puck instead of standing there and trying to clear it, it gives him an opportunity first to back the Rangers off and get himself a little bit more space. Plus, he is in a better position to make a play.
Bob Hartley still having a conversation with referee Brad Watson. Face-off, and the Flames end, and Calgary win it. O'Brien will take it to the corner. We'll reverse it back for Butler. Now Joe Colborn has a little more room to operate. He hits the red line and he'll dump it in, and the Flames do get that line change they so desperately needed. Shots 20-14 in favor of the home team. Zuccarello over to Brassard, to Richards. The puck squirts free. Giordano has it. Here come Calgary. 3-on-2. Rangers catch up though as Glencross will just dump it into the corner. Goodler tied up with Strawman. Zuccarello gets knocked down. Glencross out in front. Monahan scores! Sean Monahan! Calgary up 3-2.
Where the Rangers have been in trouble all night when they do get in trouble is their lack of defensive work in their own zone. The Flames get in very aggressive on this forecheck as Curtis Glencross lets it down deep. Yuri Hruler comes in to help out. So does Monahan as he starts it, and he does the right thing. He gets to the front of the net, and there's some soft hands right there by the rookie. Right there, he chips it out. Now he drives to the net. Backhand up and over as the goaltender, Lundqvist, wants to get a piece of it, and he misses it, and it's up over the shoulder.
Monahan's 10th of the year, so the rookie picking up offensively where he left off just his second game back. Now a chance, Blair Jones into the gut, but Lundqvist hangs on to it. Gives us another winner. Angela Palmer of Calgary entered Score and Win and has won a men's Bull of a Marine Star chronograph watch courtesy of Safeway and Christie Crackers. And that man right there, 19-year-old Sean Monahan, 10th goal of the season. Charlie?
And that really helps when you come back from an injury, when you can contribute offensively right out of the gate. Your confidence level starts to climb, and you get right back to where he was before the injury, and that was putting some big-time points on the board.
So the Flames regain the lead. We're up 2-0 in the first period. The Rangers battle back. 15:05 to go here. The Flames playing back-to-back games in Buffalo, 2-1 in overtime yesterday afternoon. As Glenn Cross picking up a helper, so it's a 2-point evening for Glenn Cross. Pouliot, it's around Brody. Girardi, it's a back to Pouliot. Flames after it, but pinching in is Ryan McDonough. Blair Jones. Up to Backlund. Chris Russell joins the rush, and then he'll head off. He looked more of a decoy than an actual offensive participant.
Oh, I think he really wanted that puck. You can hear him all the way from here, and he had a good head of steam going. I don't think Michael Backlund realized that he was coming through the middle like that.
You also mentioned Hudler got the other assist, so Yuri Hudler with 2 assists in this game. Stempniak across the line. Shot, blockered away by Lundqvist. Into the corner goes Lee Stempniak. Puck comes back. Ladislav Schmid all alone shoots. And King Henrik, get that right, because you don't mess with this guy in New York.
Really like to play in the offensive zone. Another good look at that goal as Lundqvist got a piece of it, but it rolled up his shoulder and up over the top. Ladislav Schmid on could have been a costly giveaway by the Rangers. Got a good hard shot, but not a lot of traffic. In fact, no traffic in front of Lundqvist, and he had the routine save.
Schmid still looking for his first goal as a member of the Flames. That's staging. They get it deep into the corner. Strawman tied up with Stempniak. Boyle gives it to Del Zotto. That wasn't exactly a clean exchange. Doesn't matter. No harm, no foul. Hagelin trying to get around Schmid. Boyle does. Big Brian Boyle. Back to the point, Del Zotto. Lots of traffic, and it's blocked. Schmid felt that one. Here come Calgary. Camilleri to Stempniak. Back to Camilleri, trying to get it into the middle. And the Flames have to be tough back on the puck because Boyle's with it. Dorsett trailing. Brian Boyle, former 20-goal scorer in this league, has really found himself on hard times offensively. And he loses the puck. Flames get it back. Flames creeping into this game shot-wise is now 20-17 in favor of the Rangers as Backlund is after it. There with Blair Jones. Michael Backlund to the point. Brody. That one's blocked in front. Dylan McElrath, the rookie, stepped right in front of Brody's shot. Taken away. Backlund just waiting in the weeds. Byron after it. Trying to get it away from John Moore. Stepan got it up. Long lead pass. Here's Kreider, and Brody back to break it up. I think he might have got enough of that stick to break it. Kreider heads to the bench. He'll go off rather than getting a new twig. Michael Backlund ragging the puck. His shot goes wide. Lance Boma over the boards. He'll play it in behind the net. And Moore is there.
And the confidence of Bob Hartley and his energy line to get him out in a tight game like this. They're solid defensively.
Now puck played through the middle, and Schmid dives over to take it away from Derek Stepan. Good defensive play by the Flame blue liner. Puck comes out into the blue paint. Bakari Ramo pancakes it with the glove. And boys will be boys. They just can't leave each other alone right now. They just love to have these close-in conversations after the whistle.
Tight hockey game. Everything matters.
Calgary up by a goal here in the third period. Madison Square Gardens. It's TELUS Flames hockey.
It's time TJ Brody or Michael Backlund register a point, and Michael did with his goal earlier tonight. This season, KPMG's pleased to donate $100 to that player's charity or choice, matched by the Flames Foundation for Life. Thanks to our friends at KPMG for making this happen.
New York Rangers have given up 4 goals in each of their 4 previous games. They've given up 3 to the Flames so far with 12:05 to go in the third. The Flames, well, they have Well-documented struggles in giving up goals in the third period, so this one far from over. Zuccarello behind the net for Brassard. Coming in and looking for it is Blair Jones. Back on the stick of Zuccarello. Turns around. Played right back up the middle, and Michael Backlund waiting for it. Cut off by Ryan McDonough.
Rangers really utilizing the opposing team's net almost as a fifth player out there. All the passing plays and all their plays are developing in behind Ramo.
Shot wide. Glenn Cross, goalie and assist in this game, leaves it for Monahan. Monahan has the go-ahead right now, his 10th of the year. Calgary can't get it out. Racing around, and Pouliot will kick it back behind the goal line. Blair Jones comes over. He bumps with McDonough. The puck squirts free, and Smead just lays it over to Russell. Glenn Cross tipping it ahead. Dan Girardi is there. Back in. Dominic Moore dips the shoulder, and will snap that one out of the air. Calgary showing some real signs of defensive improvement this season, haven't they?
And it all starts as a group effort, whether it's blocking shots, getting yourself into good positions. Smead blocked that one with inactive sticks. Brody gets back and knocks out that attempt at a shot. And then diving. Do whatever it takes to be successful. And a lot of that has to develop around if you're skating or getting yourself into the proper defensive position. You can make plays like that happen.
Shots are 3-3 here in the third period, Rangers and Flames. 21-17 in the game in favor of New York. That's staging. Digs it free. Butler after it. These two teams will play in Calgary March 28th. Zotto reaches out, can't get to the puck, nullifies the icing. His partner Girardi will deal with it. Ahead to Dominic Moore. Looking for Carl Hagelin. Butler turns it away. Camilleri's there, goes to the middle, nobody home. Now back in his own end is Butler. As Camilleri swats at it, goes to the blue line, no further, this time it will. As Mike Camilleri crosses the line, fakes the shot, looks and notices he's got the rookie, and Camilleri or McElrath, who's going to get the penalty? As Camilleri went to bump the rookie, it looks like the Flames are going to the power play.
Intact Insurance is proud to sponsor the Calgary Flames and all the fans who carry a torch for them. Intact Insurance, you're back.
Almost impossible not to get a high stick up here. Mike Camilleri goes at the youngster at that point, but which is a good contact there by both of them, other than the youngster's stick came up above the shoulders. And for Mike Camilleri, this guy's 6'5" without skates, and that was just a reactive move by him. So he wasn't unhappy. He was very unhappy with that call.
Flames forward draws a penalty. The Calgary power play unit out 1 for 2 in this game. Oh, a little trouble with the pass as Ramo put it by Russell, but again, nothing happens, and the Calgary Flames are across center. Russell reverses it. Here's Yuri Hudler, 2 points in the game. To Giordano. Cross ice. Russell. Backlund trying to fight to the net, but Henrik Lundqvist is there, and he'll hang on to it.
Almost better at that point to slow it down and move it around a little bit more. If you're not getting that active of your presence in front of the goaltender, you're not going to score from way out there. Great play to get into the offensive zone. Good one-timer over to Russell. Good hard shot. But that time Backlund could not get the right position to get to the front of the net, as Girardi did a good job of containing him.
Camilleri takes the face-off on his strong side and wins it. Brody has it at the point. Try to play it to the middle. Paul Byron. Not down low. There's Blair Jones and Paul Byron getting some power play time here for Calgary in the third period. Talk about earning your stripes. McDonough hard around the boards, but Camilleri there to block it. And Girardi, with all kinds of room, will just lift it down the ice. There's 1 minute and 3 seconds remain in Calgary's power play. TJ Brody on his horse. He'll go up the middle to Blair Jones. Tried to backhand it in. It was knocked down at the blue line. Good defensive play by Stralman. Diving out. Hagelin pushes it forward. Rangers putting a lot of body and a lot on the line here on this penalty kill. Hudler reverses back. 35 seconds to go as Calgary unable to gain the zone. Giordano hard off the glass, but it goes right up into the mesh. And the faceoff's going to come back out in the neutral zone.
Sense of urgency is important in a situation like this. 8:41 to go. You have a chance on the power play, albeit not a lot of time left on the clock, but still plenty of time, 30 seconds. You want to be composed, you want to get the right play set up, but you also want to have that urgency as far as getting set up into the offensive zone and save as much time as you can.
Another face-off at center ice. We've seen a few of these and just one goal here in the third period. As Backlund and Boyle will duel. Half a minute to go in the man advantage for the Flames. This one's dumped in. Now Chris Russell. He set up the first Flames power play goal in period number 1. Hudler will dump it in. Giordano after it. Girardi is there, gets it to Boyle. And boy, the penalty killing here in the third period for the Rangers has been very good. McIlrath standing up, ready to come back out on the ice. The Flames 1 for 3 with the power play. The Rangers kill this one off. Stepan after it, overskates the puck. Monahan's there. The Rangers finally get it out. Kreider at center. Crosses. Stepan fakes the shot on Brody, plays it in front of the net. They score! Chris Kreider ties it at 3.
You could almost see this develop from way up here, how it was going to happen. And it was an innocent play to start with, but when you have that energy from a very strong penalty kill by the Rangers, strange things will happen. You move the puck up the ice very quietly, little drop pass here, and then drive hard to the net. Nothing happening, so just throw it at the front of the net. And that's where that loose puck was just laying there before Kreider was able to get that backhand on it. There's the little soft shot to the front of the net, and nobody's able to pick up Kreider. This game is all of a sudden tied up.
Chris Kreider's 8th of the season. Derek Stepan picking up an assist, so he's got a 2-point evening. And we're back tied at 3. Flames and the Rangers, 7:40 to go in the third period. Tapped ahead, Rick Nash, who hasn't been heard from in this game. He plays it deep for New York. The fans will be heard from right now. They're into it big time. Camilleri storms across the red line, loses control of the puck. Stralman to play it off the boards. Stempniak is there, gets in front of Kreider, and it's back to Ladislav Schmid.
All of a sudden you get that noise and you get the crowd into it. It's very quiet here most of the evening.
Calgary's now given up at least one third period goal in 10 of the last 11 games they played. Dead last in the National Hockey League in goals against in the third period. Richard shoots. Oh, that one didn't miss by much, but it squirts out. Chance for Calgary. Here comes Glenn Cross. No. Whistle behind the play as the net's knocked off its moorings. Kreider celebrating the game-tying goal, trying to get the fans into it.
Also, don't forget to listen to Sportsnet 960 The Fan, Calgary's only 24/7 all-sports radio, proud to be home for the Calgary Flames.
Well, the old adage goes, this is a city that never sleeps. This crowd is far from being sleepy. They're into it.
It was maybe a little bit of a nap through part of the early parts of this game, but now the building is alive.
3-3 hockey game. 6:40 to go. Dumped in. Rommel will steer it towards the boards. Pouliot falls in the corner. Hudler is there trying to dig it free for the Flames. Bat it over. Butler tips it in. Stralman back to get it. Stralman, briefly a member of the Calgary Flames, at least for one training camp before being traded away for a third-round pick to the Blue Jackets. Behind the net, Dominic Moore as it comes to Butler, and he's going to ice this. And this is going to be one of those decisions for Bob Hartley. Let's go to the big hit of the game first, brought to you by Old Dutch Foods. Quality lives here and sharing starts here.
In a physical game, the Flames have been leading the way as far as hits. And you can see as Lance Boma continues not only blocking shots but throwing big hits, and it's our Old Dutch big crunch of the game.
Kreider behind the net, has step on one side, goes back to the point. Falk looking for the tip. Now John Moore will play it all the way around the boards. Falk coming in on Glencross, but Butler reaches up for it. And this one's going to dribble, no icing. Or is this a point where Bob Hartley has to start thinking about these icings and whether or not he needs to use his timeout at some point?
Probably would like to have his club jump up on the skating as far as not have to get trapped into their own zone and keeping those feet moving. And that's the big part of learning how to win here in the National Hockey League.
Flames have won 2 games in a row for the 3rd time this season. They've yet to win 3 in a row. On the other hand, the Rangers winless in their last 4. Blair Jones spins away from Zuccarello. Paul Byron after it behind the net. Reaches out and gets it. He'll play it back to where Blair Jones is. Now Russell's shot off the toe. Lundqvist got that. Backlund to the point. Russell. Flames with some good offensive pressure from this line. Blair Jones will pick it up. Nowhere to go as Broussard was there. Well, Backlund comes in to offer some assistance. Comes back. Russell to Jones. Byron behind the net. Girardi watching him. Flames make a line change as Stempniak, or a line up change as Stempniak jumps in. Now the rest of that line will come over the boards. Brody shoots, and Lundqvist has that, and he will hang on to it. Flames and Rangers in a nail biter at the world's most famous arena. Review is brought to you by Intact Insurance. Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company.
It's a huge block party here at Madison Square. Lance Boma leading the way as the Flames block 27 shots so far. Curtis Glencross with a little giddy up in his step gets a goal and an assist. And no stage fright for the rookie as Sean Monahan has picked up his 10th goal of the year, just his 2nd game back.
Despite missing 7 games, Monahan remains 2nd in goal scoring for rookies. Thomas Hertl leading the way in San Jose. Bob Hartley looking on. 4:24 to go. 3-3. Manhattan. Hagelin gets to the Flames line. The line may make a change. That was Boyle that heads off. Oh, what a hit! As Giordano knocked down in the corner, Pouliot just came right off the bench, skated a long way in and hit the Flames captain to the deck. Hagelin can't control it. Moore has to be sharp, and a penalty coming up, and it's going to go against the Flames. 3:56 to go, and the Rangers will get a power play.
Mike Camilleri just a little bit too aggressive against Hagelin. To the right of Ramo, who got, by surprise, that shot from the corner, but Camilleri stayed right with Hagelin at that point, got the stick up, and the power play for the Rangers. Be a long 2 minutes here for Mike Camilleri.
Calgary's penalty kill. Killed off 29 of the last 30 it has faced. Needs to kill this one off with 3:56 to go. Stepan wins the draw straight across. McDonough, Giordano after it. As Girardi was in the vicinity. Now Kreider shoots and he hammers one wide, and Boma will dump it down the ice. Lundqvist hanging on to it.
Oh, you don't want Kreider walking down the slot like that. Someone's got to be a little bit more aggressive on the penalty kill.
There's Brad Richards. Makes the move to the wing. Stempniak trying to dig the puck free. Flames trying to come up with it. Butler's after it. Richards gets it by him. Giordano tying up Kreider. Rick Nash has it. Ramo knocks that one into the corner. It's a 5-on-3 coming up for the Rangers. 1:21 to go in the first power play.
Couldn't do that again if he tried. Nash just gets that puck up towards the net. Ramo makes the save. It's up in the air, but as he batted it out of the air, it cleared the glass. It cleared the glass and hit the mesh right here up in the air. Batting it out of the air, just trying to get it out of harm's way, and that didn't catch any piece of the glass.
And you can see it just ripple the mesh. Not even, as you say, Charlie, not even close. This is the New York Rangers league-leading 11th 5-on-3. They are 3 for 10 in this situation. Calgary have killed off 4 of 5 5-on-3 situations they have faced, but it's not so much the situation as the time, my friend, is 121 of 2-men power play opportunity.
That's a tough time, and we'll keep an eye on the block shots. We just mentioned how many block shots already for the Flames, and it'll be a lot of that if the Flames are going to be successful in this 5-on-3.
27 block shots for Calgary. Not surprising, Chris Russell leading the Flames with 5 in that category. Bob Hartley deciding to send out Butler, Backlund, and Giordano.
Obviously, the big part of this is Michael Backlund, if he can win the faceoff. That'll kill a lot of valuable seconds.
Flames win it. The Rangers outman Calgary. Comes back to the point. Richards is there. Rick Nash with Kreider parked in front of Kari Ramo. Derek Stepan, far side, and Ryan McDonagh at the point with Richards, who has the puck. Down to Nash. That one goes off the end boards, and Stepan will play it back to McDonagh. 55 seconds to go in the 5-on-3. McDonagh down low. Now he'll go into the net. Richards misfires, but Calgary can't get to it. Nash with it, back to Richards. Stepan to Richards, shoots! Big save by Kari Ramo. 40 seconds to go in the 2-man advantage. McDonagh loads up! That one's off his shoulder and wide. Now it comes back to Brad Richards. Down low, Stepan. Into the middle. No room for McDonagh. Nash shoots, blocked by Mark Giordano. 20 seconds to go in a 5-on-3. That one's off the blocker. McDonagh picking it up. 15 seconds to go. Richards to Nash. Can't handle it. Back to Richards. 10 seconds to go in the 5-on-3. Richards shoots, blocked, hit wide, shot through the crease, over top of the net again, and a high sticking call coming up. Butler knocked down in front of the net. As their good friend is my witness, I have never seen 2 pucks go side to side through the blue paint like that, and it's a double minor. Wow, what a chain of events.
Right from the goal line to goal line. And the thing about these pucks going goal to goal, there's nobody there to get hit by anything. Usually it bounces off of somebody. As Butler's down, he gets draws a 4-minute power play opportunity, so a little bit of 4-on-4, and then the Flames, if it gets to overtime, gets their chance on the power play.
2 shots in the 5-on-3 situation for the Rangers. So Chris Kreider, the man who tied the game, now sitting in the box. Just amazing. Just amazing, that whole exchange down there, and then it ends up with Calgary in a situation where they're going to have a power play, or potentially a power play.
Just great penalty killing too. The way they played the triangle with Butler, Giordano, and with Michael Backlund, they were caught out there the whole time. So they positioned themselves properly the whole minute and a half they were out there.
Little 4-on-4 hockey here for the next 33 seconds, and then Calgary will have a power play that, barring a goal in the next minute and 40, could carry into the overtime session. Behind the net, Chris Russell with it. Up to Backlund. Paul Byron takes a twirl, he's out, along with Brody. Shot tipped on the way through. Byron won't be able to catch up to it. And it's back out in the neutral zone. As stepping back out on the ice is Lee Stempniak. So the Rangers officially 0 for 4 with the power play in this game. I should get you caught up on that. And Calgary now with 3:10 of power play time. Just over a minute to go in the third period. Tied at 3. Girardi plays it ahead. Boyle looking for it. It's off the end of his stick. And Mark Giordano has it. His 400th NHL game. The captain of the Calgary Flames drops it. Picked up Hoodler. 2 assists on the night. Trying to get it across to Camilleri, but it's swatted away from him. 40 seconds to go in the third period. Russell looks. Where should he go? Camilleri was the target. He's after it. Girardi gets there first. Camilleri trying to hold him up. Now the Rangers will dump it down the ice with 20 seconds to go. Almo has to be a little bit leery here as Carl Hagelin was in the vicinity. 10 seconds to overtime. One last dash up the ice. Here's Camilleri to Glencross. Back to Camilleri into the middle, but that one's poked to the boards by Anton Stralman. And for the third consecutive game, the Calgary Flames will go to overtime. Or if you like, for the fourth time in 5 games, the Calgary Flames will go to overtime.
It's the Rangers 3, Calgary 3. Shots on goal in the third period.
TELUS Flames Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by TELUS. The future is friendly.
What's being discussed on that bench right now, do you think?
Well, we should score a goal, maybe.
Or should we just do it like we did it before? Is that what they're saying? Because the last couple of games has worked effectively for Calgary.
Well, they have to have a little bit more urgency, too. I think that's what they're going to talk about. This is the last 2 overtime goals, and Chris Butler getting that through against Carolina with just 5.6 seconds to go. And then Matt Stajan on a great feed from Paul Byron ended it for the Flames. So they felt very comfortable once they get to overtime. But just the last 2 power plays is a little bit of a concern as far as the lack of urgency. But it's all out now. Still 2:04 left on that double minor for the Rangers penalty killers.
This is the 11th time this season that the Flames will play extra time. It is only the 3rd time that the New York Rangers go to overtime. Charlie, they're the only team yet to play in a shootout.
Been a strange season for Alain Vigneault, especially the way the season started. They were 9 games on the road because of the construction here at Madison Square Garden. They struggled massively when they went through that 9-game trip. They end up getting themselves back to 500 on a good spurt coming through in November, and now they've just hovered 1 game up, 1 game below, and he hasn't had the consistency that he has needed.
Calgary start with 2 minutes and 4 seconds of power play time as Chris Kreider in the box, double minor for high sticking. Flames officially in this game 1 for 3 with the power play as Camilleri works it back to the point. That's Blair Jones. He'll exchange positions with Russell. Glencross parked in front of the net. Russell, Jones misfires, whiffs, but brought a defender out of a position. And Jones gets the puck back. Blair Jones to Russell. Camilleri looking at the side of the net. Glencross with the tip, but it didn't go. Now Glencross can't catch up to it. Camilleri will. It comes straight off the boards, and the Rangers get it and dump it down the ice. 1:20 to go in the power play.
Good patience on that opportunity, the power play here. Glencross just couldn't get it by Henry Lundqvist.
Back to the point, Russell. This is Blair Jones. Back up to Russell. And Mike Camilleri. Try and set up Jones for the one-timer. Here it comes, and he just missed, and that one rims around the boards and a race for it. Russell's got to come a long way over to get to it. Knocks it away from Dominic Moore, but Moore gets the puck back, but it's hit with a high stick. And here's the chance by Mike Camilleri.
Being patient, trying to make the right play and get things set up. Glencross, just that stick right on the ice. Lundqvist very quick. Oh, got a toe on that. What a great setup, and that is an all-star type of save by Henrik Lundqvist.
So now it's Yuri Hudler, Lee Stempniak, Brody, and Giordano's opportunity on the man advantage. 45 seconds to go in the double minor. Giordano out to center. He finds Hudler. Flip it in behind the net. Brody down in the corner. Puck's by Stempniak, and we got a race for it. Here's Carl Hagelin. One-on-one with Giordano. Hagelin holds up. He's going to kill some time on the clock. He'll come all the way back to Ryan McDonough. 20 seconds to go in the power play for Calgary. Hagelin gains the line, trying to get to the middle, but it's off the skate of Mark Giordano. 13 seconds to go in the power play. Now the Rangers penalty kill has come to the forefront. First it was the Flames late in the third. Now the Rangers. As Giordano's shot goes to the corner. Out Out of the box, Kreider gets the pass. He's into Calgary territory, loads up Ramo with the save, and it's kicked back out. Stempniak has it with Michael Backlund. Calgary just one shot on the power play. Backlund falls down. Taken away, and this is Derek Stepan. 2 points in the game, a goal and an assist. He'll play it back down. Delzato with it. 2:30 to go in the extra frame. Who's got momentum? Delzato, cross ice, in, Kreider to the net. Ramo has to make a stop, and Ladislav Schmid did everything he could to avoid taking a penalty.
Everybody on the Flames bench talking about an offside at that point, but linesman right on the line. Kreider comes right out of the box, stick on the ice, off onto the offense. This is overtime. Good hard shot. Ramo well outside the paint to make that save. That was a tough play right there. Kreider trying to go on the backhand and flip it up over the pad of Ramo. Not going to happen.
Timeout has been called by Bob Hartley. As Chris Kreider's had a terrific third period. I like a lot of this game, Charlie. I mean, I know you look at one side and go, they didn't do this or that side, but sometimes you just play a good hockey game, and sometimes people just make plays and things happen, and it's been that kind of game, hasn't it?
You have to give the Rangers a little bit of credit there. They've been struggling here at home. They've had a good push the second half. The only little bit that I could maybe have a little concern for would be the lack of urgency on that power play, especially into overtime. Even the power play in the third period, because they have been very aggressive. They have been very confident all year on that power play for the Flames.
Calgary have won 4 games in overtime this year. Only the Vancouver Canucks have won more. Canucks have won 5 overtime games. One of them was against the Flames in Calgary early on in the season.
Now we're down to the little battles, the face-offs. The Rangers with an advantage here tonight, 6 or 7%.
Richards in to take the draw with Backlund. Calgary win it. Brody looks up the ice, hard pass looking for Paul Byron. That was a set play, and it's an icing call. You take the risk. I mean, there was a little bit of risk there. It nearly worked.
A little risk, but you're being creative, and again, little tiny things. You're getting face-offs won. Just a little bit of a hesitation here. Paul Byron not getting probably the step and a half that he wanted to get on the defenseman.
Right off the draw, that was the play the Calgary Flames wanted. Rangers get a play, but it's blocked away by Kailer Ramo. Now, Flames try to get it to the corner and out. They can't. Richards intercepts, falls on the play. Nash is there. Nash trying to get it back to Ryan McDonough. He does. Backlund watching him. Nash bothered by a pair of Flames coming out of the corner, and Backlund has it. So Backlund has to turn away from some pressure. 1 minute and 40 to go in OT. Hoodler back out on the ice, couldn't handle it clean. Now Calgary have to be wary. Chris Russell steps up. Butler couldn't control it. Hoodler, Russell, Butler, Stajan all have scored. Overtime winners for Calgary. Butler behind the net gets it back to Giordano. Derek Brassard has the lone overtime winning goal this season for the Rangers. Matt Stajan out at center. Finds Butler. Butler shoots, can't get it all the way through, and it comes back to Giordano with a minute to go in OT.
Every time we started talking about the Rangers not blocking shots, they've been doing a great job second and third period.
They really have. Kreider ahead with some room. Chris Kreider, it's bouncing and it just goes wide. Oh, that one took off on Chris Kreider's. He had some real oomph across the blue line. Now Camilleri to Schmid, shoots, blocked. Oh, Kreider got in front of that one. A little slow to react. It comes to Brody. Down low, Camilleri's shot misses, and it's going to rim back out in the neutral zone with 20 seconds to go. Are the Rangers about to play their first shootout game of the season?
Flames just going back to regroup, try to get one good solid rush up the ice.
It's what happened when they beat Carolina on Thursday in Calgary. Puck turned over, 2 seconds to go, long shot, and we are going to a shootout.
It's a speed through the neutral ice zone by the youngster. Kreider had a great opportunity. Feet and the hands maybe moving faster than the puck. It was bouncing. He tried to go back on the backhand path, lost control of it, and then a big block shot right there by Kreider. Not sure if that's textbook style, but it was effective as time was running out in overtime.
Well, just because the New York Rangers haven't been involved in a shootout this year doesn't mean that, they don't have any experience. You take a look at the start of this season, Henrik Lundqvist started it with the most career shootout wins in the National Hockey League with 45, and he's faced, coming into the season, the most shootout shots at 287. So at least the goalie's prepared.
He's a very aggressive type of goaltender on a shootout too. He's very active when he's out there. It will be a mountain task for the Flames to try and continue that success. And on the other hand, Ramo has looked very good in shootouts when he's had the opportunity.
Ari Ramo, first game as a member of the Calgary Flames in Washington, faced a shootout. Now the 2 wins that the Flames have in the shootout this season, that was Reto Berra.
Reto Berra was, again, both of them are very aggressive. As you can see, the teammates having a little chuckle, little laugh. Not too much tension there. Keep a look at those guys. All right, what are you going to do? You're going to be a little bit more aggressive with the poke check. Both of them very different style. I should say Ramo likes to be a little bit aggressive coming out of the net. So it'll be interesting to see if the Rangers do more deking or shooting.
So Colburn, Hoodler, and Monahan for Calgary. Zuccarello, Nash, and Stepan for the New York Rangers. And you knew Joe Colburn and Monahan were going for sure. Hoodler has had success this year. Monahan, as a rookie, though, perfect. 2 for 2.
The way the kids play nowadays, the confidence level of these young players thrown into a big time opportunity like this.
Now, Charlie, will this be a short shootout or a traditional long shootout that the Calgary Flames have become somewhat known for? 8 shooters in the win, I believe, in Winnipeg back in November.
It's an interesting stat to see, and I think it all starts off with that first shooter. If you score, the momentum goes to the team that just scored. If it comes up with a big save, and then all of a sudden you're seeing maybe the stick tighten up a little bit as now you're behind the 8 ball when you know you've got to score at least 1 to tie and get caught up.
Should I throw it out there that the NHL's longest shootout took place at Madison Square Gardens? I believe 15 shooters per team.
Oh, I remember that goal
and
too.
that was Marek Malik, right? He was the one that went behind and did that. Was
they were running out
right?
of shooters, and I think he was
right?
going in and so relaxed he put the puck between his legs and tucked it back up over the shoulder.
Who was going to be critical of Marek Malik? Nobody.
Not 15th shooter in a shootout.
No, and then a number of years later, Thomas Hertl makes that same kind of move and he gets in trouble.
Well, it was a little different circumstances, I think.
This is entertainment.
Yes, it
right?
is. Yeah.
This is entertainment, and it has been entertaining. Is this just off Broadway? Do you know your geography? Is this just off Broadway? This is just off Broadway. This is just.
It's on the tour though. Did you get on the double decker today and do the tour?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Not last night. You didn't.
No. I went and saw the big tree last night.
A little rainy and wet last night.
Yes. Take a look at these faces. As that, I believe, is one of our shooters. Brad Richards right there. Kari Ramos spent some time in Tampa like Richards did. Pardon me, Richards is not shooting. The shooters, Zuccarello, Nash, and Stepan. I'm just...
To start with.
Yeah, to start with. I mean, he'll eventually shoot. That's the way it works when Calgary's involved in a shootout, right? And here is Matt Zuccarello.
Rangers choose to go first.
You look at his career numbers, 50% shooter. Kari Ramo faced just 2 shooters in Washington, didn't stop either as the Caps won that game back on October 3rd. So he'll be looking for a little redemption, and Zuccarello's had a good game. In his 100th NHL game, Matt Zuccarello is going to take a shot in on Kari Ramo. It's taken a while to set this up, but we are finally ready to go, and it is Zuccarello in on Ramo. Slows down, shoots, scores!
Came in a little bit quick, slowed down, and then just was looking to shoot right away. Didn't even really get a wind up on that one, just kind of lifting it right over the left shoulder of Kari Ramo.
Joe Colborne, 1 for 2 this season. We know what the move is. Here comes Colborne. Will he try and go around Lundqvist? Yes, he does, and it works.
That's sweet. Oh, great composure and the confidence right here. Just double, and then he just starts stick handling, and then with that reach, he's able to get to that forehand, which he can go a lot farther around the pad. Lundqvist has no opportunity on that one.
Rick Nash, all those years in Columbus.
He likes to start his play from the backhand.
Nash in on Ramo. Makes the move, no room, and Ramo and the post make the stop.
Looked like he might have had a little bit of time and space there before Ramo was able to slide that pad over right at the last second. Took away that net, hit the side of the net.
Jiri Hudler. His career numbers are fantastic this season. He is 1 for 3. Hudler in on Lundqvist. Makes his move. Stopped by Henrik Lundqvist.
Lundqvist stayed right with that. I thought at a point where Hudler was going to shoot this because he had him right here. He was guessing at that point, but then he recomposed himself and is able to get that left pad out.
Derek Stepan. Big game goal and an assist. What has he got here in the shootout for Ramo? Makes the move, and Ramo not buying what Stepan was selling. And how about this? 2 for 2 in his early NHL career. As you take a look at Ramo.
Tried to freeze him with that fake shot, drew it to the backhand, but really did not make a good play after that, as Ramo had anticipated that.
Monahan, the 19-year-old rookie, a chance to win it for Calgary. In on Henrik Lundqvist. Shoots, stopped by Lundqvist.
Monahan really shaking things up. He started in his career shooting on this, the breakaway. This time he just tried a little bit of a flick pass, trying to get the goaltender Lundqvist to open up.
Well, we showed him on the bench earlier, and I just had this feeling, just knew in the bottom of my gut that we would see Brad Richards with some speed. Here he comes in on Ramos, shoots, scores! Oh, Brad Richards attacked that opportunity.
He shoots the puck so well, and he gets the right area just above the pad. He comes with speed, and he's able to get that puck up. Ramo does not get a chunk of that.
He's from West Seneca, New York. That's north of here. But Lee Stempniak knows what it's all about. 1 for 2 on the season, has to score. Shoot, scores! Clutch goal from Stempniak. To a 5th shooter we go.
Little stutter step, lost control of the puck, but regained it very quickly. And this is what Lee Stempniak does so well. Like Brad Richards, he has such a good control of that shot.
So Derek Brassard, the 5th shooter for the New York Rangers. In on Kari Ramo. Ramo out to challenge, stops Brassard. Mike Camilleri's the next shooter for Calgary, but it's Kari Ramo we got to talk about.
Ramo, again, coming out, being aggressive, being as big as he can, and then slammed all the doors as far as any hole that Brassard was going to try and shoot through. So right now, advantage Flames.
Mike Camilleri, you like the big stage? Here it is. In on Lundqvist. Shoots, stopped by Henrik Lundqvist.
Lundqvist getting more aggressive. The crowd chants, and watch how far he is outside the blue paint when he makes that save. He's already moving back, so he was well outside of it. I think that's why Coburn was so successful with that long reach.
Dominic Moore, points in his last 2 games, has an assist in this one, and here he comes in on Karamo. Moore goes wide, moves, scores! No hesitation from Moore.
Interesting how he changed the angle that he was going on, Ramo. He goes wide to the right, and as he's coming back across, that opens up a little bit of a space far side.
Paul Byron's first shootout opportunity in the NHL this year for Calgary. And he faces the 2012 Vezina Trophy winner in Henrik Lundqvist. Can Byron keep this going for the Flames? In. Loses it, scores! He lost it, but it was enough perhaps to confuse Lundqvist.
Quick hands, how quick he was able to get that back under control. And this is the same type of move that I think that Monahan wanted to do. Right here, loses, gets it back, and there's where the pad's open. He moves across the net, and that has to open up something.
Pouliot, Benoit Pouliot, the next shooter. His 15 in 5 seasons, Pouliot for the Rangers, scores! Oh, what a helpless feeling for Ramo as he saw that slide across the goal line.
Big reach going onto the backhand, and Ramo just can't get that stick on it. The pads are already sliding from left to right, and it's the perfect shot just inside the post.
Michael Backlund becomes the 3rd Flames forward or shooter that needs to score to keep the shootout alive. In on Lundqvist. Backlund makes his move, and the Rangers win. They snap their 4-game winless skid, and Calgary's 2-game winning streak comes to an end. 4-3 in a shootout. The Rangers prevail.
Lundqvist really coming to the top of his game in the second half of this game, plus into the shootout and overtime. Michael Backlund trying to come all the way across, gets in a little bit too tight as Lundqvist was able to get that poke check out. And he doesn't have the reach of Joe Colborne. And Lundqvist pretty relieved to get this victory for himself, because he has struggled to get wins as he's lost his last 3 straight.
This shootout goes 7 deep, but it's the Rangers who prevail. They were playing catch-up all game long, but they find a way. In their first shootout, they gain a victory this season. Calgary points now in 3 consecutive games, and we take a look back as Benoit Pouliot. You know, when this one crosses the line, Charlie, you could use a calendar to time it. It didn't have a lot, but it had enough.
Such a great move if you can perfect it, and the hardest thing is to get that reach under control. As you go by the goaltender, you reach back, and you're just basically touching that puck and knocking it into the net. And Ramo was just unable to get that stick, that poke check out to stop that puck. But I go back to the big penalty kill at the end of the 3rd period, the 5-on-3, until the penalty was drawn against the Rangers. And then you have that power play, and you don't score, not even at the end of the game, but when you get into overtime too. And that's that urgency that you have to learn how to win games. But hey, you're on the road, you come away with the point, you have a lesson, and you move on.
These teams play very, very tight hockey games. As a matter of fact, the last time they met was October 20th in Calgary in 2011. It was a 3-2 overtime win for the Rangers. Now the Flames have played in their 22nd 1-goal game. 2 more than anybody else in the National Hockey League. And as you pointed out earlier, there's some empty net goals that go in there. There could be more. Calgary's in everything they've played this year.
Well, they work hard, and that's every building we go in now. That's the first thing everybody talks about. Boy, the Flames are working hard. The opposing teams have to be prepared to do this.
The New York Rangers battled back all night. Backlund, Glenncross made it 2-0. Stepan, Hagelin tied it at 2. Monahan gave Calgary a 3-2 lead in the 3rd. Kreider tied it. We go to a shootout, and the Rangers win 4-3. The Flames are off to Boston on Tuesday.